different perspectives. So then, today what we're going to do is make a review about what is known about the role of elephant perspectives for community level processes. I'm sorry for the macaque. I work on Mac and
using floss to try and ascertain, what was happening to these seeds, and I had very poor recovery of those. 2 were definitely predated. Removal is predation.
Artists, I have to say. Between consumers, I'm sorry, I'm lacking some. So there are multiple plant species and multiple consumers. Some of them are mutualists, they disperse seeds, as you know. Others are just predators or opportunistic consumers. Pre-dispersal predation, post-dispersal predation, even microbes play important roles.
Next. Ozons were considered to be primarily impacts of ozone on plants where
we ask the type of data we gather, our interpretations of it, and so I think it's worth going back and revising what our
have the second removal from the one touching to the other places.
Drift in your populations and real selection on these.
And in many areas, perhaps you have seen it here around Montpellier, they are dominating the forest. And so now, inspired by Pierre-Michel, we decided to concentrate these in this symposium. We're having these 7 talks. And I think there are another 7 contributions and posters where I'm inviting you just to have a look afterwards.
So, as previously mentioned, we search for J flights, but apart of that, we estimate the amount of wood mouse through the whole landscape. Fernando already told, irradiance is very important in the Mediterranean region. The superstars, the afternoon, you can see that the positive effect is not only for the 1-year-old seedlings, which is the more logical because the J, what it does is just move the acorns and disperse them of each animal, and we simulate like 0 dispersal, so dispersal equal to 0. The J's are doing the ups in the regeneration stage, while others are going the downs. And well, it seems it's quite dynamic in space and time, and we will wait.
Today, I will introduce about my study effect of shear characteristics on the individual shear plates over deciduous oak species of Quercus serrata. Recently, large variation in shear characteristics have been reported in individual shear level. Please see this picture. These are all acorns of same species Quercus serrata. So we conducted a pilot experiment using our objective Quercus
dynamics. At each field site, we also established several large enclosures, 100 square meters, to study rodents. The
fig that we are talking about here is Ficus carica, the edible fig. And since we are here in this lovely city of Montpellier, I thought with the beautiful Roman aqueducts and
which is the 3rd main result of these studies. So now think how frugivores determine actually all these factors, which because they forage on certain trees, which we know they have different represent here. One is based on Prunus mahalep, which is a wild cherry, and is dispersed by a highly diverse guild of frugivores. Some of them I present here, the most important ones. Most of them are birds, but also we know that some mammals, such as foxes, they feed on fleshy fruit during the summer, so they assist as seed dispersal. Actively select such a highest group microhabitat void, such a soil, or which is mainly composed. Of course, local have reference every seed trap in the seed train, the endocarp of the seed, and at the end of the matrix with all maternity in each seed trap. The correlative maternity is estimated as the number of seed traps and the number of mother trees contributed by Prunus mahalep trees in kind of trees, and they fly all together to the pine forest where they perch and disperse. And this is very different to what happened in low shrub migration, mainly by one bird species, the acorn woodpecker. So the acorn woodpecker drills holes in the stem, in the bark.
And his talk is about using population genetic analysis to understand patterns of seed dispersal. Please.
What I'm going to try to do this morning is talk a little bit about get an overview of different kinds of genetic approaches to try to do here is just give you an example of probably the most extreme case, just to show you how the data works. This is a Japanese beech, Fagus crenata, and as you'll see, we can break out gene flow into pollen components and seed components. This picture is here, and it's not a really great picture, but it does demonstrate the dispersal ability. And today, the dispersal the animals that disperse this tree are cattle and horses, domestic cattle and horses. This is one of the species that Jan Janssen thinks its dispersal agents have disappeared with the loss of the extinction of the megafauna 10,000 years ago. We'll find a situation where we had 3 tree hairs, where N is the number of individuals that you have, and identify who the mother is. But that's one of the problems with the background, and I've probably looked at 200,000 seeds of Guanacaste, so I think I know what they look like. This palm is invading its successional, early secondary successional area, and he finds lots of seedlings establishing in this successional area. This tree, where they used a spatial genetic structure and a paternity analysis to show once again that the clusters, the related clusters they had were not next to the parents. But they have some problems. And not a problem of the analysis themselves, it's a problem that differed a lot between the two years here. So I'll just leave you with that, and whoops, I can't go backwards now. No, my great picture just disappeared. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your excellent overview. I'm just afraid that we ran a bit out of time and we should move on and keep the questions for the break. So the next speaker is Daniel Garcia, and he will talk about the landscape ecology of frugivory in citrus.
Probably all we are here will agree about the great importance of frugivory and seed dispersal. We call it FSD.
Since your sample size is large enough, you don't need individual fecundities, and you could simply, by modeling, assuming that think at the distribution of distances between all candidate mothers and the seed collection sites.